So it all started when I shot out of my mom's area. Apparently my mom is a natural when it comes to giving birth, so I like to imagine me shooting out almost like from a log flume ride. This is me, and I'm like, "Way! Hello world!" So throughout my childhood, I had this wok head, and I call it wok head because it really does resemble a frying wok, a truly ugly hairstyle that most Chinese kids were cursed with. Even thinking about it hurts. Apparently, my mom actually wanted to name me Donna. Donna, can you imagine? But in the end, she settled for Lindy. I think it suits me more anyway. Wanna know who else was cursed with a walkhead? My big sister. Now, her name's actually called Claire, but the family has always called her Tai B, and actually it means big baby. And as you can guess, I was known as Sai B, and in translation English, that meant small baby. In our family, there was mom, dad, granny, granddad. Wait for it, there's more. Mom and dad were trying for a boy. Third child was, boom, a girl. Can't miss out the walkhead. And since April was born, I wasn't called Saibi anymore. My big sister, on the other hand, turns 30 this year, and she's still known as Daibi. On the fourth try, my little brother was born, and since then, a prince was born. Counting all family members, there was 8 of us under one roof. We were one massive family. All 3 of my siblings are born in the month of April. I am the only one that's actually born in December, so I always kind of felt left out. Because I was such a gullible kid, my sister would prank me by waiting till I would fall asleep at nighttime. She'd come and trickle warm water in my crotch. I would wake up mortified and cry because I would think, crap, I just pissed myself, and then she would blackmail me for the months to come. Apparently, she even talked me into drinking water from a toilet before. I have no recollection, maybe I've been trying to blank it out, who knows. As for my little brother and little sister, they actually tried to adopt me as their child, and this kept going for a very, very, very long time, and I was known as Megan. So because I was a middle child, I was probably the most desperate one, so I was always trying to cling on to my mom. The only memory I have playing with mom is when she would play hide and seek with me, and I would go hide and she'd take the opportunity to sneak out of the house, and that's our car going. And I'd be there in my hiding spot just waiting and waiting and waiting, and then I got it. She's not coming back for me. So this is always a sad memory for me, but everybody tends to laugh at this, so I ended up finding it funny. As I got older, I was allowed to join my mom for shopping, so she would do the exact same thing for my little brother and sister, except I'd catch on and we'd reverse out of the driveway and we'd see their little faces and they're crying their eyes out. I'd see them and I'd be like, finally! I feel really bad admitting this, but back then as a child, this was really how I felt. I'm like, taste of my own medicine. Another strong childhood memory I had was leading my little brother and just drawing pictures in my mum's car using rocks. And I still remember seeing mummy and being all, hey mom, look what we did for you. So we didn't get beaten, so I think she appreciated our intentions. Because our parents had to work all the time, we were pretty much brought up by our grandparents. My granny was this hardcore little lady. She doesn't speak English, but she knows all the swear words. My granny would go to Hong Kong and she would always come back with a fresh batch of bamboo sticks, and you know what it's for. So we would accidentally try to get rid of them by throwing it in the bin, but it was useless because she could pretty much turn anything into a weapon, and her favorite weapon is her slipper. No matter where you are, it always gets to you. And what do you get? Slipper-faced. Whenever I used to sulk and cry, my granddad would always be the one that would come cheer me up. And whenever it used to rain, my granddad would come collect me in this big giant umbrella that could easily fit like 7 people underneath. And I actually used to feel embarrassed because I thought, why can't our umbrella be normal size? But now thinking back, I would do anything to have my granddad collect me in the rain again. From what I can remember, I've always been little. I mean, normal kids were always this height. Me, I was this height. Plus, academically, I wasn't too smart and I never really liked studying. I had this cousin called Laura and she was straight A student. She did ballet, she could play piano, she was bee's knees, and I was always compared to her, so I always felt very little. I was obsessed with writing my own comic books as a kid. In fact, I was actually one of the main characters. Because I was so shy and insecure in real life, everything I couldn't be in reality, I lived it through my storybooks. When I was 12 years old, my granddad was suddenly submitted into hospital. He had gotten really sick, and it really broke my heart because when I went to visit him, he couldn't even recognize who I was from all the medication. And he was only in hospital for 2 weeks before he passed away. So I didn't even get to say goodbye to my granddad, and I missed him so much. I would go to his bedroom and crawl underneath his covers and just cry because I missed him so much. And I would even get helium balloons and write messages on it and release it from his bedroom window. And I hope that he would receive my message and know just how much I love and miss him. So moving on, my first year in high school wasn't too great. I guess the school I went to was pretty rough, so I had these kids throwing their food at me, chips, carton of drinks, crisp packets, you name it. And my friends didn't really stick up for me because I guess they were scared. I can't blame them. But I felt humiliated and I felt really alone. So I was pretty much teased because of my skin color and also my height, and I was scared wherever I went until I met these bunch of cooler kids and I actually felt protected with them. Except they got in trouble quite a lot and they were actually quite mean with other people. They even kind of encouraged me to smoke, and I was actually lured into it peer pressure, and I took my very first puff of cigarette, ran home, brushed my teeth 5 times, and ever since I've never ever touched a cigarette since. In my final 2 years, it finally hit me. I remembered what I'm in school for. I'm in here to do my thing. And I was fine and I studied very hard, and I only had one good friend and she was called Sarah, and we were really happy. Moving on to something more interesting, when I was 16 years old, I met a guy called Timmy. Timmy was different from all the guys I ever liked. He was small, nerdy, but he was really kind.
Boy.
In fact, the first time we hung out, he was actually 15 minutes late, so he gave me this sorry card. I mean, who does that? Until today, he is still never ever on time. We actually never really asked each other out, we just suddenly became more than friends. I guess we just clicked. I had always had low self-confidence. I wore glasses, I had braces, severe acne, but he really made me feel beautiful. He saw my heart and I saw his. So then I studied really hard for my A-levels and I did pretty well, and I could have gone to a better university, but because I always tended to underestimate myself, I enrolled myself into a university with lower standards and decided to do a packaging and design course. I really don't know why I did it. I hated it, I wanted to quit, but I was too scared. I was hoping that in time I'll learn to enjoy it, and then before I knew it, I graduated with a degree I didn't care about. At that time, it was economic crisis. I couldn't find a job at all. I had also moved back to Northern Ireland, so I was away from my friends and my boyfriend, so Tim and I were long distancing, so a lot of nights I would cry myself to bed. One day, I finally picked up the courage to film and upload my first video on YouTube. I was so nervous and awkward and scared, but in a good way. And I started to meet these bunch of people around the world who share the same interests as I did. And these people are you guys. I really leaned on you guys for support more than you can ever imagine. You guys really felt like friends that I didn't know in real life. You gave me encouragement and taught me new things every day. I was absolutely smitten with YouTube, and I would spend late nights just sitting with my laptop, just tapping away my keyboard, answering your messages, answering your emails. My confidence soared. I'd always been a very insecure, self-conscious girl, so here I was, finally being able to reach out to people around the world, telling them they are capable of greatness and they can make a difference. I was finally able to be comfortable in my own skin, and I no longer cared what other people thought of me. One day, YouTube invited me to become partner, and I thought, cool, I get a banner, and also some pocket money to buy makeup. With that pocket money, I kept saving, and I saved enough to buy a heat press for £300. I thought, why not put my design career in the use? So I designed and pressed my own t-shirts, and that was fine, but my hands would get red and bloody, and I wasn't sleeping until 5 AM every night, and we thought this couldn't do. So with not much money, we traveled halfway across the world into Hong Kong. Sorry if I situated Hong Kong wrong, I have bad geography. So we found a manufacturer that took us in, and with that bunch of money we saved, we invested into makeup brushes. And with our own line of makeup brushes, we were able to save money for our very first property in Hong Kong. Not the whole block, just this floor. All of this came from an idea and involved me to step out of my comfort zone and try something new. When people were trying to put me down and tell me what I did was silly, I said no. Oh, that's right, 7 months ago, Tim finally popped the question after 10 years being together. And as you can imagine, I said yes. I still can't believe there's only 5 months to go and there really isn't a reason for me not to smile every day. My philosophy has always been to plant where you were grown. I would not be who I am or where I am without you guys watering me with your encouragement and love. And I promise I will give back by planting seeds of inspiration, love, beauty, and happiness. And together we will help each other grow and bloom. So finally, that's my life so far. I hope you guys enjoyed my life story and drawings, and of course don't forget to like and subscribe. Mwah!